Hello everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. I'm your moderator for today. My name is Kumar. Thank you for joining this beautiful evening. This wonderful talk by Sister Shanti. Before we start, I just want to mention a few things. That is, please make sure if your camera on is properly faced on you. And make sure you're muted. If you have any question regarding any technical issue or anything, you can put in chat or raise your hand. So before we start, I will pass to Sister Kalai. Sister Kalai.
Hi, dear sisters and brothers. A very warm, hearty welcome to all our viewers who are joining live for our presentation by Sister Dr. Shanti. Special welcome to Dr. Shanti, who's a very experienced heartfulness trainer from Malaysia. She has many very interesting and insightful presentations on a variety of highly sought after topics on heartfulness practices for our global audience. She is the center coordinator for Malacca Center and also in charge of Shukla Retreat Center. She's a retired medical officer, served in various states in Malaysia. She does art and music as hobbies and is still on heartfulness journey with Master's blessing. Now we call her to present. Before the presentation, she will be doing a centering, which will be around 10 minutes. Dr. Shanti, please proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Khalid. Thanks to everyone who has joined on a Sunday evening. So let us, as usual, we will do centering. Just a minute. Gently close your eyes. Let us go deep into our hearts. Connect to our hearts. First, let us pray for our Master. Let him have long life and good health. I will just read out a few in peaceful intentions. Just keep your eyes closed. Just visualize yourself already experiencing that outcome. Just experience it as vividly. When I read it, just feel it within yourselves. But release any attachment. Have the real feeling for it, but we leave that outcome to Master. Have the faith when you're saying it, that the intention will manifest in its own time. Among all people in the world, let there be compassion, let there be kindness, let there be love, and let there be peace. All sisters and brothers are developing correct thinking, right understanding, and an honest approach to life. Everything around us is deeply absorbed in godly remembrance. all are in osmosis with the source and developing increased peace and moderation. May there be truth, righteousness, and faith in the entire world. May all kinds of distractions that exist in my country and in the world be removed. May this entire earth be engulfed with peace, with love, and with divine grace. That all sisters and brothers who are really craving for the ultimate, they are being attracted towards our great master. They are being pulled towards him. And we submit that prayer that may they all benefit by his grace. When you're ready, you may open your eyes. Today, we'll be talking on, the talk is actually on miseries and pleasures. If you notice, Daaji has been talking and referring a lot to likes, dislikes, reactions. He talks about thought pollution. He talks about the field, energy field, and he talks about transcendence. In various talks lately, ever since I think maybe his birthday time or before that, it has been coming out in various ways. Even when Prime Minister Modi, he visited, again, he's talking about thought pollution, energy field. So at that time it happened, we're reading Lalaji's Misery and Pleasure. So it's the same, dislikes and likes. And I was thinking, it can't be, there's something, if he wants to bring us up and he wants to lift us up, he's asking us to look into the subtle aspects. We're not doing anything gross now. I mean, after many years, hopefully, we're not doing any gross reactions, but these very subtle reactions. I thought, I don't like. It's there. It doesn't come out, it's already. Before you know, you realize that thing has come out, or that reaction, or that look, or the turning away of the heart is happening. Right. So this is why I touched on this. In a way, this topic is like, it's appropriate and also links up into Sankalpa. So now I'm going to share my slides. Can you see my slides, brother? Brother Kumar?
No, sister.
I can see Sister Kali on the... Okay, just a minute. Sorry.
Please press the share.
Okay, because I can see yours is there. Okay, I want to share. Okay.
Open the slide, just select the share button.
Okay, just a minute. All right, can you see now?
Yeah, make it
Yeah.
full presentation.
Okay. Presentation.
Yes.
Is it good?
No. Press F5.
Hmm?
F5. F5 on your keyboard, or there is like small buttons there?
Yeah, this one.
Yes.
Yeah, but I would need to. Can you see now?
Yes, but this is like seeing all the slide. This also okay if you want to make
This
it.
is okay.
Yeah.
All right. I put that. It's when I escape, it's not. It's going back to this. So I will just use this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this topic on miseries and pleasure, as I said, I think they are actually it is related to this likes and dislikes. He has been Babuji Maharaj. He says there are miseries around for everybody. As soon as you're born, whether you're a royal or whether you are noble, whether you're poor, you are going to be, misery will start very subtly, he says, very subtly. And the link is already there from the pain and the pleasure. It's already there. We can't see it. And out of these two things, we are always looking, desiring for this happiness. And we don't want to think of the miseries. So it is the mind that forms attachment to these likes and dislikes. And the more it forms that attachment, the more we get angry and the more desires. It is a rolling thing. So, and these desires change, of course, because whatever is in value now, in a short while, sometimes we just throw it away. So the thing to understand is or this Sajmark teaches, the thing to understand the effect of our thoughts and reactions will stay in the layers of our mind, and they are as samskaras, and when the time is right, they sprout out again. And quoting Lalaji, that the soul only wants freedom. It cannot actually tolerate any external attachment for long. So these are the various powers on duty. It tells this in the chapter, Lalaji's Complete Books of Ramchandra, volume 2. These are the various powers on duty, and they manage the universe. One is for creation and integration. One is for destruction and disintegration. And all these powers, they are very subtle. We cannot see them in the original. Their forces pervade everywhere. They're shapeless, they're dimensionless, but they are the ones that help this seed grow, nature grow, whatever is thing. You can't see it. They hover, he uses the word, lovely language, hover over the seed, and it helps it to grow into a beautiful plant. And the thing is, they are not egoistic. So they are mindless, but they are not powerless. And our minds also develop because of these powers, he says, because it helps us to appreciate and enjoy nature and beauty. And here our senses or indriyas, they help us to understand. And yet these powers are also the cause of misery. So what are the types of misery then? How can these cause misery? He calls it, the first one is causes by various causes of nature, the forces, adidavic. All forces cause misery or pressure. So one person may like, cold. The other person, just hates the cold. Some, they love, let's see, maybe love the hot sun. The other one is miserable when there's hot sun. Some love that, don't like rain. Some love that rain, and like how you see in the Indian movies, they're out there dancing. I haven't seen that here, maybe when it's children. So these seasonal changes also bring pleasure and misery. Everyone's affected. And nowadays, what is it? Nobody is free from these effects of the climate change also, right? For nowadays. And he says even the planets affect you. And, we see the astrology, the Mars, Jupiter, in alignment, and some sort of, there's an effect on us with those who are susceptible. Now, the next one is Adi Bautik. This is caused by living beings. Now, what kind of living beings? Even if you have own property, you have workers, you have farms, you have a family. So this happiness comes and this misery also comes. Happiness comes from all these proper dealings. When you say correct and proper dealings, we know they're talking about dharma. So if you are doing that, no, you have no problem. But somehow humans, he says, are always enemies of other humans. When the rose is there, the thorn is also there. And people do all kinds of mischief, because of the foolish insistence. They must do, if they decide to take, some course of action, it doesn't matter to them if they're also going to be wiped out in the process. We have heard of this, right? Enmity is also happening now. They don't care. And they don't care about the shame also to themselves. So that is one kind. Saints who have come to do good also, what has happened to them? People, foolish people. They either crucify them or they put them in jail. So this is living beings doing to living beings. Everyone somehow goes through this at various levels. Then the Adhyatmic. This one, we create misery or pleasure for our own souls. So this is because it is mental and intellectual. And it is the more subtle it is, the more misery or more pleasure it brings. So the first two actually, they cannot compare with this Adhyatmic. So this is the one that is doing the havoc for us. And it's an example, if you say subtle, it's just a thought. Oh, I thought of my friends, and it immediately makes you happy. I thought of my neighbors troubling me. Immediately you feel that anger. So it's a very subtle, but this is the one which is giving the most trouble to us, because we are doing it to ourselves, he says. And the only problem is that we keep on repeating this attention to such thoughts, keep on repeating, So all the miseries and pleasures, they are right here in this division. There's 3 divisions. You can see it here. So even that guy who's shaking hands with the lady is smiling over there, but his energy field must be very distorted, right? So the first 2 is about outer, and the third, the Adhyamic, is caused by the inner world, which is just talked about the inner environment, and it is more dangerous, most dangerous. And for people who like even more luxurious and a lot of comforts, there's going to be a lot of pain for them. Even we know, right, when we want a lot of comforts, then even when we have a headache and the whole thing, the wonderful things that you have, you can't even appreciate. And I think Daaji has even said sometimes whatever we met friends, we're happy, or we go to the same restaurant, then after we go again, that pleasure is no more there. So how subtle is that? We are doing nice things, but yet our inner thing is not satisfied. Now it's just a bondage. So it's something like this. I put it here because it's subtle. You have Lalaji described it so nicely. He said you're just sitting coolly and you're enjoying your tea and everything. Suddenly, just because of a thought, that suddenly your eyes become like daggers, and you start frowning, and your face becomes ugly. So people don't even know what's happening to you. I said, what exactly? Where is that original person? You were there, fine. Where is that person gone? He said, just a thought has altered that condition. So this is those thoughts, I think Daaji is telling us, beware of those subtle thoughts. And he says we even collect poison not enough in our hearts. This thought, we send it out, and then from that repercussions, we collect back and keep them inside, and we can't sleep like this fellow. So as far as this duck is concerned, that fight is going on. That incident may be over, but that fight is going on. That fight is going on, and it's causing him mental agony. And Lalaji describes it as we use our own axe to cut our leg, and then we prepare our own funeral pyre. How nice is that? We use our own mental thoughts, make problem for us, and then also collapse just because of our own thoughts. So this asmita is related to this. The asmita just means pride, ego, self-respect, So when we have not transcended that energy of the lower self, then every thought, every feeling of pleasure or misery, or every activity of man is dominated by the sense of self-importance. So you view this whole universe by your perception. It is colored by your outlook. We label, again, reaction good, no good, beautiful, ugly. It's just in relation to us. Even the ultimate reality of the word God, it should be a personal God to us sometimes. The things we ask and the things we expect. So and if we are ignorant, it just appears so natural, We don't think, what are we doing? We don't stop. I think just recently, today he said, stop. Think first. Or very recently, there's so many on the same topic, so I can't remember which video. And this one, you all know, right? The Solomon and the two wives, I think. One was a genuine mother, one was not genuine. And because of the desire, and it doesn't matter whether the baby was cut in two to the person who had such self-importance, pride, and also such a desire that she refused to give up. And again, it's happening right now in the world, right? You see children getting hurt in the war, and it seems natural to them. It seems very natural, right? So when we don't understand that cause and effect, karma and its outcome, then this is the one that it'll be a decisive factor in our destiny. We shape it like that. It's going to cause misery because when we think all this as real, what we think is, it's actually illusion, but we think it's so real, then we live in sort of suspicion, confusion, and we have all the other things coming in. And a house and a wife, or maybe children, we give so much of importance. Even the house, we have left it, we have sold that day. Then we pass by, we say, actually this one, my house long ago, I feel a little bit of pang there. Or that, oh, my old car is going again, there's some connection, something. Actually, I had this position. All these things, I think you'll understand. So the cause of attachment is, suffering is attachment, that's all, clinging. And these waves, I put this water here, because these are the waves of, you can see the partition. As long as a stick is there, that is a stick of ego. This is by Ramakrishnan Paramahansa. As long as a stick lies across the ocean, there's always this appearance of two. So never mind, I put a small stick there. You may have a straw only. And the way you hold on to that ego with just a straw, that will turn into a big log for us. And we will never let go. Right? We know about such things. It may be nothing, and it may be, in our life, or maybe I'm VIP, I'm related to this person, it becomes, it's nothing, it's so far away relation, but like a big straw, we hold on. I think Master also recently mentioned, we think we are abhyasis, and then they don't know. We think we are a bit better, that we understand better. And those who are non-members, they don't. This is all that stick of ego. So if you are aware of it, that is the best thing. Then you can look how to improve ourselves. And let's see. Yeah, this is just to show that pleasure is impermanent. There's not everything is changing. Right now, if we talk also, we are our cells, our body, everything is modifying or growing, dying. Everything is changing. So it's nothing is going to be there. This plant is very cute, trying to keep that man, so I just put it there. And we send out all the spider webs, once you start it, it gets connected, gets connected, and then we attract even that similar type of people to us, right? So mental misery is the most dangerous, as we said. It's just our identification with our self. And there's a beautiful proverb that says that there's no giver or taker of misery or happiness. It's just our own making. And the waves, waves of thought, they can be so high. It says tsunami, like so high. From nothing, it goes so high, especially when you're angry or craving something. Right? So pleasure and misery, beauty, ugliness, they are all in the mind and they are not in the objects. A vritti, a thought waves, they arise in the mind, and then because of our samskaras, our vasana, they call it, the mind is agitated and either runs toward it or it runs away from it, trying to avoid it. And it'll plan so many things and scheme so many things, and it'll think the whole of life is just about that. So we go on thinking today's thought was nice. He says the whole life will go, and you, at the end, will think, what is it we've done? What is it, we've done even while practicing? So the mind, the consequence of this is, of course, it's just ego. And when that happens, our consciousness cannot expand. It cannot let the consciousness expand. As Osho said, the spiritual disease or the disease of this misery, anguish, and the disease of worldliness, running after things, is just 100% unreal. It just feels you're carrying all the meaningless things with you. And what are those meaningless things? The suspicions, the doubts, the guilt, so all the things that come with this worldliness. So it is all vritti, it's all mental conception, deception, creation, and he says, destroy the vritti, that's all. Right, so let's go forward. In Sri Ramakrishna in the Holy Gospel, he says, as long as there's bhoga, there's less of yoga. Now this is, and for us, Lalaji has said, the fulfillment of desire is called bhog, and desirelessness is called yoga. It's the same thing. Except bhoga, he also, Babuji says, right, is also working out the intricacies that are there already. It's undergoing our, the prarabdha when we're going in life. We are going to have to work out whatever, was we have brought from the past, and also work out all those intricacies, whatever is there. And so you see, he advises, do your duties. Just fix the mind on God. Sri Ramakrishna says that. But one cannot see God unless Maya steps aside. Maya is not totally false. It's there. It's a manifestation of the ultimate, his creation. But the Maya has a very powerful seat in our mind. We have beautiful creation. We do so many things with that creative ability. But she's also forgetfulness. when we're busy doing our things, busy living our life, busy family, busy, building our life and on the life journey, because we're living in this world. So she's very important, but she's also makes us forget. And that's why we come in with the constant remembrance. We forget our divine nature of the self. Right, so here, Charlie Brown here, not any that, we have anxieties, you said, we have one anxiety, then we have anxieties. Those who don't know peanuts, I mean, those, I don't know whether the younger generation know peanuts, but it's a very, very nice comic. You can, take a peek. So in Heartfulness, what is yoga in true form? It's just that the self-realization through connection, unity, and togetherness, and above all, the divine oneness. Right, so I think this Lalaji has said it very well here. This is the punishment for being incarnated. Everyone goes through it. The learned one goes through it by learning, whereas the ignorant one goes through it by lamenting. Just one story here, maybe, is, there were some students, Sishyas. They were, just joined, and they went, they followed, they had to go to see the guru. He was in a Gurukul. So they went, it's in the forest those days now, okay? And they landed up in the Gurukul, and it is late, a bit late. And so a senior guy, they said, okay, you'll sleep here. How many of them? Maybe 5 of them. So you sleep here. Okay, then he handed out all the blankets and all that. So they were new. Okay, they took it. They noticed a bit of, 1 or 2 holes in the blanket. But they were okay. And they went to sleep. So the next day, when they got up, then some of them had more holes in the blankets. So they started, saying, you did it. Why did you take my, because they sleep near, I'm sure they're not in luxury down on the floor. So that one fellow did, or maybe he pulled it, and another one did. They were thinking, what happened? And they were a bit upset. And that time the senior guy came, and they were saying, look at this, what happened? Oh, he said, our guru, he has he likes to do this. At night, he likes to go around, and he will go and visit his, Sishyas who are there. And sometimes when he sees the hole, then he will like to tear it a bit more. Then, so these people were thinking, what? Maybe a few of them said, what is this? Did we come to the wrong guru? And the other one, so most of them were puzzled, but only one fellow, he was looking happy. And they said, what's wrong with you? Others asking, my goodness. He said, what? The guru came to me, he took my blanket and he tore it. He was so happy that the guru visited him. So you just see the difference. So it is a thought. And of course, his devotion. The same way the master says, he comes and gives us tests. So we say we're busy with the test. Are you why like this? Why like this? The devoted and the one who has bhakti, then see his way of thinking. There is so much contentment. There's so much of happiness. So we lament or we learn. Our gurus also have the eccentricities, isn't it? I think Babuji smoked his hookah. I don't know, but others, so we won't go there now. So the thing is, we blame divinity for miseries when we ourselves, they forget, Babuji said, what are they doing? How are we causing the miseries, And he said this one special thing about humans is we are given freedom of choice. So that is a sign of God, we have freedom of choice. But every choice we make, the likes and dislikes and reaction is not a sign of God. You see, the freedom of choice is God, but the choice you make to react whatever energy you carry is not a sign of God. A man can make something ugly, which is out of something so natural and harmless. We know many instances. Okay, so this creates intricacies, and it either brings you pleasure and misery. This is because we are ignorant. Okay. Our masters teach there is no need to abandon the world or anything, but just give a little time to search for your own reality. Daaji used to say, don't miss the bus, right? So this is our prarabdha, but doing everything, responsible of your position, your family, your whatever duties, don't miss the opportunity for spiritual growth, is what just today he said. Then you will be able to live like the lotus. When the time comes to leave, we leave it smiling, or laughing is the word actually Lalaji used. Right. So now the purpose of yoga is to stop this misery before it happens. Okay, this we can understand, right? So our master has been telling us difficulties are there. Everybody has it. It depends how we translate these difficulties, We again, reaction, or we can take them as a challenge. So here, it says to receive all things with equanimity, and better if you can, with the spirit of cheerfulness, which he wants one step more. This quote is very beautiful. That quote that says that when joy and sorrow are inseparable, so when one sits with you, the other one is waiting on your bed when you're asleep on your bed. So it's always there's this duality. Right. So live like a lotus. This is what he's telling us. Spirituality says to look for that which we do not feel any lack. God is love, and that is your soul. Your bliss personified. And we need to cultivate these seeds of contentment. So he tells us to muscle up. Use the word muscle up is spiritual strength to withstand unappealing parties and moments with indifference. Just sometimes nothing is just an innocent remark and you're already getting, excited and hurt and everything about it. Just pass it, let it go. We must try to go there if we are really serious in our spiritual journey. So it's in transcending that we move further, not the other way. So this, so we go to the next. So how do we do this? It starts with a very simple suggestion that everything we need is already present within us. All the love of the world, beauty of the life, seed of perfection is present in our heart and represented as the source of light. The suggestion is strengthened through actual experience in meditation as the light leads to the feeling of inner presence. Right. So here, he says, I think it's a repetition, transcendence, that's all we need to remember. That Babuji says very clearly, if I say it is due to your past impressions, then the answer comes that the intention wins over these samskaras. So he's not afraid of samskaras. He's telling us don't be afraid of these samskaras. We can escape. If it is, yes, it is due to past impressions, but he says that intention wins over samskaras. When a man is attached to his highest being, then we get over it by fire of devotion. So we understand that the energy fields, of whatever the attraction, repulsions, they're actually products of whatever we cultivate in our minds from the past. So Sahaj Marg practice is actually based on use of intention, Sankalpa, and we can intervene at any stage. This is this whole of Sahaj Marg is based on Sankalpa and intention. And intention can just change your way of thinking. And as Babuji said, if you don't allow that field to be formed, or field of thinking or reaction, then that cause will have no effect. And then we can meet in, as Rumi says there, out beyond this idea of wrongdoing or right doing. There's a field, and we can meet there because you have not allowed that field to be formed. And here that he says, sages and saints, they use prevention and they correct their intentions, while wise people, they correct their thinking. Practical people, they correct their actions. And in heartfulness, cleaning can provide intervention at all stages. We can recreate ourselves daily by cleaning and positive intentions. At no stage in our journey, we should feel that, oh, I can't change. We can't change. Nobody can change. No, we can recreate ourselves daily. That is our daily practice. Body, maybe we can't change, but subtle bodies and consciousness, yes, we can change. So this is the chart where it says before samskaras, before thoughts, there were samskaras. And then when we understand the role of samskaras, then we realize that before the samskara manifests, we can have an intention. Then next, before you do an action, you can put in an intention. And it goes on. Now, to make this good decision, first, you need to rise above that noise of your likes and dislikes. And you have to get a clear view. How? Because otherwise the sankalpa vikalpa will be going on. It is decisiveness, indecisiveness, at each step, a positive, negative. This, our meditation and our other practices, these thoughts that was, this indecisive and mind chatter, suddenly they become inspiration and intuition. It is breathed into you by cosmic breath. Babuji says it as correction of lower consciousness so that it settles into the subconscious mind, and he elevates it. This transmission, meditation, this is what it does. It is correcting at every stage. And that's how we change our character and destiny. So this is a sankalpa, the seed of change. What is a sankalpa now? It is you use your willpower, but you unite with that conscious awareness, and we unite with that higher consciousness, the infinite consciousness. And we express it, is always expressed in the same wording each time, and it is positive. And it is like a seed. Of course, you need to water it, and you must have the confidence that it'll grow in its own time without being rushed. You have to. It cannot be rushed. It will manifest in its own time, and we must make sure it is in a positive, and we don't use like try or any negative suggestions should not be there. So who's going to help us? Only the Guru. How does he help you? We already know transmission. You allow yourself to resonate. And the thing is, importantly, he is showing us each time what is the true value, what is the real reality, what are we actually seeing, what is illusion and what is real. So it's our choice. It is our choice. You cannot force it. There is no, sudden like meeting. There's no by chance meeting this master and heartfulness that we are in. There's no serendipity. We don't stumble into it actually. So either we continue or we, go our own way. And I always loved this quotation that, who can help us, but the master cannot take us both paths, freedom-loving path and his path. And I think you're very familiar with this quote. I've wandered all through the beautiful roads all my life. I haven't found my destination, and now I'll follow you. Brother Kumar, would you play that video, please?
Okay, sister, 1 second.
The one that...
Purify intention, right?
The one that 6Y3XPL. Is that right?
Yeah, the title is Purify Intention.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Okay, 1 minute.
Your intentions may...
Okay, this is the one, right?
Yeah, yes.
Your intentions may become bad at some point, but before executing, if you meditate well and clean well, you will not be able to go ahead with your action because your conscience will not permit you to do that. So that is how Sahaj Marg helped. There is a beautiful book by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, and he describes on how the results of our actions, when they are favorable, we become happy, and when they are not so favorable, we become sad. So the happiness and sadness depends on the results, and the results depends on how our actions were performed. If something goes wrong and doesn't go as per your wish, then the results will be bad because you didn't perform well. And what precedes action is a good plan, good thinking, good contemplation behind the action. And behind the thought, as we understand, what propels these intentions are the samskaras. The samskaras that drives the intentions, and intentions drives the thoughts, and thoughts drives the actions, and actions drives the results. And results makes us either happy or sad. Now, when we combine all these things, then it is imperative that in order to change our intentions and become more simpler with our intentions and become more simpler and purer with our intention, then we'll have to unload our samskaras to a large extent, you see. Samskaras are the culprits. They spoil our intentions. Based on our pravrittis, whatever we are doing, we create our own prakriti. And based on that prakriti, we create our prarabdha. So pravritti or your activity reinforces your character. That becomes a bedrock of your thinking process, of your intentions and all that. With the help of transmission and with the help of yogic cleaning under Sahaj Marg, we are able to remove the sanskars, we are able to remove a lot of misunderstandings, we are able to bring about new level of understanding and clarity in thinking. Your intentions may become bad at some point, but before executing, if you meditate well and clean well, you will not be able to go ahead with your action because your conscience will not permit you to do that. So that is how Sahaj Marg helps us in doing what is right. You may have bad intentions to start with. It's okay. But when you meditate, it will protect you. And it will not allow the bad intention to flourish.
All right, so we will just go on with next. Yeah. Okay, I'll continue with the next. We will have about 20 minutes, I think. So I will now share with you on Sankalpa. One second, please. One second. All right. Right, so we go on to Sankalpa. And yeah, so Sankalpa, we already know what it is. And so we don't really have to do too much. We just talked about it. It's just that we remember that it has an element of prayer or submission, because required change is beyond one's strength and capability. So our masters introduced from the very beginning the character of the infinite. In Sajmark, in Heartfulness, the transmission is given, and when we take our sittings, the very beginning, the character of the infinite is introduced to us. And with each transmission, it keeps growing. And we also remember our first Sankalpa, I'm sure, because everybody, when we take our sittings, when we learn to do the cleaning, so that's when we use our willpower, and that is the first Sankalpa that we learn how to clean, and we have the ability to clean ourselves. So here, I was thinking about it, like what is what is resolution and what is Sankalpa, and like what is the difference between these two? So it's a Sankalpa is always silent, positive suggestion to manifest change, and it works differently from resolutions because it is not like good intentions, or it's like we make yearly resolutions. Resolutions, I think we feel a sort of, it normally comes from the mind, and we feel a lack, this is not good enough, so next year I'm going to be like this, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to earn more, I'm going to get a better job, I need to lose weight. And then most of the time, where we are disappointed because we suffer because there's an expectation there, and many times it doesn't come through. Also, we are unfulfilled. Whereas Sankalpa, it comes from the heart. And Sankalpa is not at all ego-driven. We want to make changes, but there's no ego involved. It resonates in the heart, connected to the divine. We take our consciousness and we put it to universe consciousness, and then that effect is potent because you're taking it to the infinite, and resolution is different. And the only thing is, you must remember to put that quality of intention in that arrow whenever we want to do it, and shoot it with a prayerful heart. It changes from my will to his will. That is the difference of this. So if you want to change the world, Babuji said, you have a method for it. He says you must create that state of mind as a vacuum. That's what we do even in meditation, and apply your will also. The subtle suggestion should be there. Our individual will should not be there. So that you invite that cosmic will, that universal will. And it seems contradictory. I must use my will, because Sankalpa is where you use your will, but then you want to give it to the universe will. So you have to give that up, you surrender it, but that is how it works. It's divine will, right? Who can accomplish. The concept of Sankalpa actually turns inward. It connects with the heart's highest aspiration, highest intention. So when certain Daaji has told us certain conditions have to be created inside us, Sankalpa is the best thing. And this is the way to create something inside yourself or even remove something. But they have told us solutions don't come from the same level as the problem. So how would you do it? You need to raise your consciousness. And how do you be able to dip into Sankalpa again and again by your will? This is by making meditation a habit. Right? We are raising our consciousness. And there should be two things here. There must be a connection to the source, and it should be a very, very subtle suggestion where there is a communion with the inner sense. And it shouldn't cause any ripple. It's so refined, like it doesn't disturb the divine silence. I think Daaji was telling about how Chariji was making the prayer in his room. I think when he was there, it's almost like it dissolved. There's not even a ripple, not even nothing disturbing. It's so refined that even Chariji doesn't seem to be there. Right. It's a heartful embrace. So we need to love, and to love one's own things, one's own family, that is Maya. And to love all things and all people, that love is Daya. And that comes from God. So we are meant to be compassionate and take care of each other. So we need to activate this purity of heart by nurturing pure intentions. A Sankalpa should honor the deeper meaning of our life and purpose. And what is that? Is this Dharma, as Daaji has said many times, our Dharma and our evolution of consciousness. So when Sankalpa arises in our hearts, and we need to bring changes for ourselves, we must use a little discipline. Otherwise, we will go the other way. We will devolve because the pool of desires decide. So a little bit of will has to be there to make it happen. And if you're saying the words, but there's no heart in it, then there's a mismatch. And what did Chariji say? I think words without thought, your words fly up, but your thoughts remain below. And that prayer will never to heaven go. I think so. I think all of you remember. So we need to use Sankalpa, these peaceful intentions. And it is our duty actually to send out positive thoughts. And because in all hearts, only divinity prevails, nothing else. They're same everywhere. It is the divine in our hearts. And whether they do good for us, whether they uplift us, whether anybody does anything, it is still our duty to do it. That is what their teachings are. And always they say that, always have the faith that whatever comes back, whatever nature brings back, that is for your own growth. That is best for us, for you. If it doesn't, that Sankalpa, something, you hope for doesn't happen, that's good maybe that's what's good for us at that moment. Right. So divine will always acts in very mysterious ways, right? It's like how when you read Lalaji said acha, and it was done. So it's that kind of divine will. If we have it doesn't create any ripple and it gets done. Right. So when it comes to peaceful intentions, if you want to do, you need this vibration of love. Unconditional. It is not subject to any preconditions. And these serve all beings serve, the one that have life or not life, nature, everything. They serve this greater interest, this peaceful intention that Master has given us. They are serving the whole universe. So it is our collective intention and attention towards peace that will create peace. And he says no individual can make it happen. So peace begins at home, in the heart of the individual, and then your family, and it radiates outwards. So this is a mudra. I just found it. So the mudra for when you make a sankalpa, you can do this. And the main thing here is your intention. Your intention will speak louder than your words. So if you're connected with this power of intention, and everywhere you go, you don't need to talk. It's already, everybody's affected by our field, energy field. And he also says, pray like a lover, not like a beggar. So I cannot remain superficial. I myself must feel it. Now, Lalaji has said that this world can be compared to our body. If any organ is diseased, then the whole body is affected. So our spirituality is oneness, interconnectedness. There's a lovely whispers, later I will share it. Life is one, God is life. And everything is, it is only God that breathes, God that exists. He's in everything. And it is each of your breaths that gives rhythm to what is transforming itself in you and around you. So it is, you look how important it is. He said, your breath is transforming everything in and around you. So we can actually, universal prayer, I think I don't have to read, everybody knows it. You can do it anytime, actually, says, but at least at 9 p.m. All right, we connect, and the unity in thought and feelings with an open mind, it radiates outwards. So the day Master was talking about quantum entanglement, not that I know much, but it gives rise to collective thoughts and patterns and feelings, and this egregore is very important so that it spills over to the whole world. And when we meditate or make a sankalpa, there is an entanglement of multitudes of consciousness in his remembrance. And this is what works. This is what works. We are all unique individuals, but we are all connected. Right? So this is our intentions. I think earlier already done during the centering, and everybody knows it. I don't have to read it. Same thing we read just now. When we do this, actually we are creating a new peaceful reality for ourselves. It is nothing about others. It is others, but yet it comes back to us. It is for ourselves. I just have to remain prayerful, and it's the pure intention. We cannot order Master to do anything, or I cannot say, do it now, it will be happening. As I said, very prayerful, we submit, and very subtly. Right. At nighttime, I think Master has told this about having Master in your heart. And this helps us to prepare for next day's meditation. Right? This is something everybody knows. But this is quite interesting. I came across it 9 o'clock, the 9 o'clock meet prayer, that in the Christian tradition, they have it also. But actually during the war, in World War II, I think 1940s, that, during World War II in the British, during in UK, at 9 p.m., the BBC, they would announce the news. at 9 p.m. And the announcer would say, this is London. This is the 9 o'clock news. And then the chimes of the Big Ben will ring, and there'll be 9 great strokes. And during the chimes and strokes, an estimated 2 million people prayed in silence. So this minute was known as the silent minute of prayer. And I don't know whether this is true. They said that when they captured some, Nazis soldiers or intelligence officer, he said, with the striking of your Big Ben each evening, you used a secret weapon in which we did not understand. It was very powerful, and we could not find any countermeasure. So there's some, the power of thought. And he said, this is recorded or what, I really don't know what it's on, but this is a story. But yes, 9 o'clock they used to do it. Now, what about us? Anybody knows Beatrix Potter? She wrote the books on, Peter Rabbit. So those who know, this is very good. Believe there is a greater power silently working. All good, all things for good. Behave yourself and never mind the rest. So what is everybody's business? We are supposed to just do our duty. This is our duty. He says, make this intention. It is our duty. It is our duty. Your own work is your duty. You don't need to do anybody else's work. Do your duty and don't mind other business. That comes in the nyama, all this is part of what she's telling. Behave yourself. We are not helpless because meditators, we can change the landscape of society. And these suggestions, sangkalpa, intention, they go towards this. Every person, we may be praying in a unique way. We're not telling the exact words. You may different circumstances, different timing. But in the end, that goal gets amplified. So that's what we can do. Our master has said, you have to accept the need, the change is very important aspect of this Sankalpa. And there's a Sutra 33 of Sage Patanjali, Daaji, it is there in the Heartfulness magazine. There are 4 attitudes that give capacity to understand this practice of intentions. They are, you need to be friendly towards the happy people. Don't be envious. Be happy for them. Compassion for victims of misery. Don't say, yeah, they deserve it. Everybody would like to be just heard when you are misery. You just want to tell somebody, listen, no need to say you ate this, therefore you got sick and all this. Have compassion. Then joy towards the virtuous. When people are doing good, people are doing well, no need to be jealous. No need to think there's something. They are donating because, they are maybe making up for some kind of wrong they did. And, all kinds of things we can tell to bring people down. And fourthly, indifference towards the non-virtuous. So when people are doing wrong, we don't have to highlight these behaviors. So Babuji said he never sees down there. He always looks at the good in people. So don't just be indifferent. And we don't have to join them, but just be indifferent. So these attitudes nurture goodness of the heart, and it is devoid of so many things that we don't want, competition or comparison, all kinds of things. So that way, when you don't have all this, your heart is actually open, and that grace descends. When Master gives us a transmission, it is easily receptive. So how can a simple change like this change the destiny of millions? How? Somebody asked Daaji, how you're just sitting and you're meditating, you're telling all these intentions. So he said, just try it for a while and see and find out. He says, even if one person in your home meditates, the tranquility around them is perceptible. And when parents meditate, it's even better. Let's just try it. Now, let's listen to Daaji's video. I think I finish it, then we'll put the video, brother. I think I finished the slides. So let's be careful to not make erroneous sangkalpas. Can we make erroneous sangkalpa? We don't mean to, but sometimes the way we make sankalpa, before we make sankalpa, we have to be very alert. We should not be drawn to objects or actions because the ego enjoys this. I'm making this sankalpa because I like this sankalpa. Seems to work for me. Do not step out of dharma for personal gain. You know, sankalpa, okay, my house may my house not be flooded. And as afterthought, you say, oh, my neighbor's house is okay. Let's make this sankalpa this neighbor's house. So that is an afterthought because you have a vested interest. So that's not correct. You can pray. Also, when you do action, like to help, you are supposed to do action to help. You pass somebody and he needs help, but we make sankalpa for that. May he receive the help we need, but we don't, go down and actually help, and that is against dharma. So that is, you should do your duty first. When we cannot, all right, we pray and we help them by making these intentions. Thirdly, don't make sankalpa when you're in a state of anxiety or intense emotion. You're very miserable, angry, or you're anxious about something else. And the time you're doing your sankalpas like this, it is very superficial. We should be in a very meditative state, a state of stillness. Sometimes we make sankalpa, all my brothers and sisters be filled with love, and then suddenly there's somebody who came to your mind, maybe it's not a good relation with this, and suddenly you get shaken, this thing happened, and you're telling this sankalpa, so that sankalpa cannot work. It's half-hearted, it becomes half-hearted. And maybe we can try the other intention to improve relationship that in Lalaji is given the prayerful suggestion to remove negativity, or that we can do that. But be aware when you're anxiety or in emotion, don't not the state to make sankalpa. And sankalpa is also not for the goal of liberation. I would like to be, by this year, I must be liberated. We cannot make that kind of sankalpa, or we cannot make a sankalpa, I must have a thoughtless meditation. That is the goal. You can, if you remember, the path is that already becomes the destination. You make the sankalpa on the path. That is the practice. We're doing sankalpa for that. And doing, for that is not, you cannot jump to the goal and make, say you want that. Another obstacle is self-doubt, of course. This is like putting brakes. And you say, I'm making this. I don't know if it'll work or not at back, but they're telling all this, know it'll be working or not. And sometimes we will say, sometimes we may all be attracted to master, be pulled. All of them are becoming closer, being attracted to master. After that, you will say, oh, no, whether our center is not done, that person, these people will understand. What are we doing is undermining that importance of these positive suggestions. We give, may not be negative, but we undermine it. We thoughtless, we don't mean it, we are not doing deliberately, it's just what we say. Our master just told us every breath is transforming. And in spiritual, we are all in the spiritual journey. We have certain capacities. We say, we thought, this all, if we are doing a practice, these things are powerful out from us. Okay, and lastly, of course, we should not bring sankalpa to bring someone down. May this happen. It's point A. Any intention we go is actually very close to point A. Point A is our, the super corridor, isn't it? Super conscious. You make that intention, it picks it up. And what happens? It will be a sad day for us because the poison returns to us only. Damage was on us only. So we have to be very careful. We burden the heart. So the point A, every intention is normally we are involving point A also. And always there's a good thing to do. You think about Maxim 9, maybe like, is this going to create love and piety? If this Sankalpa, if I make, sometimes we say, no, let this thing happen. May the family be happy. May my children be happy. Is this going to affect anything? You can have that as a check. Right. So we can always work silently. We don't have to be making a lot of noise and say we're doing it silently. And that rebounds in itself. Rebounds. Where is it? Rebounding. You to your surrounding. But he says silence. In that silence, subtle. And can play the video here. This is important. Feel free to use your own words. Sometimes you miss words, doesn't mean anything. You have to follow that thing like that. No, the intention is there. So, brother Kumar, would you be able to play perhaps this last video first?
Yes, sister.
I think the last one I sent you. Would you?
Beneficial subtle suggestion, right?
Yeah, we could do that. And the one before that, I will tell you what.
Okay.
There are some subtle suggestions which are of great benefit. These suggestions are thoughts that you can keep in mind with your eyes open or closed at any time of day or night. One suggestion is to take the thought that all people everywhere are developing correct thinking, right understanding, and an honest approach to life. Do this very sincerely whenever you have the time. Send out waves of this thought with lots of love. A second suggestion is, think that everything surrounding you, the air particles, the people, the ceiling, the walls, birds, trees, flowers, everything is absorbed in remembrance of the source of all creation. Keep this thought in mind as long as you want, as often as you want. At 9 p.m., sit comfortably, close your eyes and take the thought that everyone, everywhere, is being filled with love and devotion, and that real faith is growing stronger in their hearts. Meditate on this thought for 15 minutes, sending out waves of love.
One more is the second last one. You just start at 3.25 minutes.
Okay.
And we can finish with that. Yeah.
Significance.
Second last one. Is GKY at the end.
Yeah, it's a significance of Sankalpa.
Okay. You can start from 3.24 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Not from the beginning.
Yeah.
We can end after that. That 3 minutes is the significance of Sankalpa. Is correct. Yes. Yes. 3.24. Yeah.
When I say, may such and such thing happen, it's a sankalpa. Right? Now, give you a very stupid example that you're in a restaurant and you order that fellow, hey, you, bring this. You know, it will be quite insulting also. You have seen some customers in a restaurant, they shout at waiters for no reason. And that whole atmosphere is so ugly at that time, see. Likewise, when we are sitting, in order to connect ourselves better, so that we can rejuvenate ourselves by throwing away complexities and impurities. Right? One has to remain prayerful. Just as we don't order just anyone to do anything, I cannot order my conscience, my consciousness, or God, or my Guru to do anything. I just have to remain prayerful that, oh Lord, I have these complexities, I have these impurities. I am cognizant of it, I am aware of it. May this go away with your grace. There is a sankalpa also, and there is more beauty to it, because this sankalpa is no longer an order thing or a will, but it's a prayer. Sankalpa has now become a prayer for us, and it comes to our rescue. And this very intention that, my Lord, I like to become purer, as if my whole body has become temple of God, and my heart has now become deserving vessel. So, you know, I often jokingly say that, you know, people, they die to go to heaven. But I like you to experience heaven while you're alive. Let the heavens descend in your heart, because your heart has now become so pure. So it's okay that I may indulge in bad thoughts, bad actions. But a man of full awareness, it's okay. Ye ho gaya. Next time I will not do it. He might even do it next time also. But then how many times such a person will continue? He is going to stop it in a nice way. See? He'll put an end to it sooner or later. But a person who has not begun a journey at all towards this purity, I think he'll have a long, it becomes infinite path actually. You don't know when he will make such a beautiful resolve to become a better human being. See? So purity, I think when we have intention to become purer, it is going to happen.
Okay, I think we can end. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody.